It's the same one. Okay. Hi everyone. Looks like I am finally live. Thank you for joining me today. Sorry, there's some technical difficulties there, and oops, you can't actually see me. Let's try again. Hi everyone, and welcome to Stamp with Angela. I'm Angela Palmer, and I'm excited to be here with you today. So sorry about the slow start. I went live, but it just didn't seem to happen. So hopefully it is all good. Now seems to be a lot of pressure on the internet there. So here we are. So I'm looking forward to sharing with you today. Today I'm going to be sharing the layers of beauty. So it's some masks, but also works with some stamps and dies too. So I'm a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator based in Auckland, New Zealand. Been a demonstrator for over 11 years now, enjoying what I do. I started off just more so for myself, just as a hobby, to enjoy some crafting, get my own supplies, and get together with others, sort of a class once a month. And over the years, it's grown, and now I'm doing things like these Facebook Lives, which are lots of fun. So I appreciate you being here, whether you are joining live. Sheila, hi, thanks for being here. Or whether you're watching the recording later. I hope you enjoy it and it inspires you and helps you with your card making and paper crafting as well. All right. So if you've got any questions, feel free to ask. If you're watching this on YouTube, I will answer questions and things there too. And feel free to subscribe to my channel and like the video. All right, so let's go over to my desk and I'll show you what we're going to be using today. All right, here we are. So this is the layers of beauty. So you can see there's a stamp here. There are dies, and if you have a look at this particular die, obviously this is not quite true to size, but it cuts it out. And then we also have these masks. There are 5 masks for colouring the flowers, which, I mean, if you like to use blends or other colouring means, you can obviously colour it, or you can do it with the mask, which makes, you know, quite fun and a quicker way of doing things. So I've made a few cards today, and then I'm going to kind of show you, there's lots of ways you could use this particular stamp or this kind of bundle. I'm just going to show you a couple today, but there's a lot more. I'll see how I go. I might show some more another time, but I really like the way the masks work and make colouring so much easier. So this is a card I made. So what I have done is I have stamped it in Memento Black, and then I have coloured it with only really a couple of ink pads. I've used Petunia Pop and then Granny Apple Green. I'm just trying to remember if I used Old Olive or just kept to the Granny Apple Green. I can't quite remember. We'll have to have a play and see. So that is just stamped on and coloured on the piece. And you can then take it up a notch and do it like this. Is some Daffodil Delight and also some crushed curry. And then I've die cut it. So you'll see here that I've used the die to cut it out. That way I can add a bit of layering and a bit of texture embossing to the back. But with both of these cards, I've basically used one colour for the flower and then 1 or maybe 2 colours of greens with the leaves. So that's kind of keeps it nice and simple. So that's kind of what I'm going to do first. And then I'll show you how you can have a little bit more of colouring and things in it. So what I'm going to do, I've got to try and remember what I was going to do. I'm going to do the yellow as one colour, but flat, not die cut it out. We're going to keep it simple to start with. So that's what we're going to go with first. So I've cut my piece to size. So what I've used is just a thick, basic white card base, standard A4 size, which is half, which is 21 by 14.8. And my matting for it is 10 by 14.3. And then I've just gone 3 mils smaller, so it's just a nice little border around it. And to be honest, I can't go much smaller, otherwise you don't get the whole stamp on. So that is 9.7 by 14. So that's what we're going to use to stamp first. Now you can do it without the outline and that kind of thing, but particularly if you're starting off, I would recommend stamping it the outline first, because that gives you an idea when you're playing how it sort of works. So I think, you know, try it simple first, and then you can kind of try variations and things after. So I am going to use a scrap piece of and put some grid paper down just to be able to hold things in place. And I'm also, when I'm stamping, actually going to use my piercing mat. So I'll put that underneath, particularly when I'm stamping, because this stamp is actually quite big, and it's photopolymer. So stamping onto a piercing mat gives you a more, what's the word, precise image, or a better stamped image. Okay, so particularly when it's a big stamp like this, turn it over and ink it up this way. So we're going to put that down, and my little flowers are in the top left corner. So I want to do it so it hopefully all fits, and it literally just fits. So we're going to quite a big stamp, put that down and press quite firmly. But like I said, do it on a piercing mat, because that really helps. Okay, let's lift that up. That has turned out very well. I'm pleased with that. Let's put the lid on our ink so we don't, you know, get it where we don't want to. We don't need the piercing mat necessarily now, because we're not stamping as such, but we will need some scrap paper. Okay, so I said I'm going to start with the yellow. So I'm going to use some Daffodil Delight and then some crushed curry. And we're going to try and keep to one colour for all the flowers. Find my yellow blending brush. Now, if you look at these, if we get them up the right way, there is a little notch and a number on it. I don't know if you can see that, but there is a 1 there. So there are 5 masks. So you've got kind of the outline of the flowers. Then if you look, kind of fills in a bit more. I'm putting them behind so you can kind of see. And then the next one gets into be a little bit more detail. So that's kind of all for the flowers. And then the other 2, maybe if I put it on, you might see a bit better. Let's try it down here. So it's actually going to be angled when I put it on. I might actually turn it this way. So that's for the flowers, for the first layer. Then the second layer is this one. So you're getting a little bit more intricate. Then this one here, you'll see there's not much exposed at all. It's a bit more colour. Then the last 2 are for the leaves. So this is kind of like all the leaves, except I've got it upside down. So I've got to look at that notch. And I'm going to show you how to line it up even better. So that's the leaves, and then that's a little bit more of the detail of the leaves. So let's put those back, and we will show you. So you know what I've done? There is a little bit of, I haven't obviously cleaned them quite properly. So when I've layered them on, I've now got some on my cards. So let's make sure they are clean and dry. And we are going to have to stamp our outline one again. So I did wipe them with a baby wipe, but yeah, I can see some green here. So maybe we'll just use a baby wipe just to make sure. At least it happened now before we started, I guess. We learn from these things. So make sure they're clean before you start. That's the first lesson. Okay. So you could probably use that one if you were going to die cut, but we want to use the white background. So let me bring out my trimmer and cut another piece. So I'm cutting it 14 by 9.7. 9.567. All right. Maybe we'll just cut another one while we're there and it's on hand ready. Okay. So let's stamp that again. So we're going to use our piercing mat and our big stamp and our black memento. Give it nice even coverage, at least you can see where it is. And you may want to try other colours, not just necessarily black, but for today I'm going to use black. Ooh. So even to the best of us, we make mistakes and have problems and things. There we go. So like I said, I'm not going to waste that. We could, I know there's a bit of ink there, but by the time we colour it, we won't see it. We can use it for something else, but just not what I want to do with my first card. All right, I'm going to put that away now. Okay, so this doesn't move around, I'm going to put a bit of tape down, hold it in place, and layer my first mask. So look in the top left corner for the notch and the 1, and then put it down like so. So I'm kind of matching the flowers up there, flowers there, and then adjusting it. Now if you get a pen and you mark your notch, to be honest, I actually kind of like to mark all 4 corners. All right, and you can what's the word, hold it down with post-it notes. And I thought I've got 2 little bits here. I've got some more somewhere because I do need to use them on something next. So you can kind of, whoops, now we've moved. You can hold it with your hand. You can use removable tape, that kind of thing, to sort of hold things in position. Right, so we're going to start off very light first. So Daffodil Delight. And I'm actually going to start off the paper, and I'm going to do all the flowers the same color. So I'm just going to go over the big roses and the small flowers just to keep it nice and simple first time around. Now some of them are quite little. I'm using the bigger blending brushes. If you've got the little ones, they might be a little bit easier for the smaller flowers, but this is okay. So we want to make sure that we're kind of covering it and it's a bit of yellow, okay? But not too dark because we're going to layer it up. All right, let's have a look at that. Okay, what I'm going to do is wipe this as we go so it's got time to dry for our next card. So I'm just wiping over that with a wipe or a chamois, and I'll just give it a bit of a dry. Okay, number 2. So number 2, make sure my notch is up the top and it's the right way up. Maybe we'll just check that it's got no ink on it. All right, so I'm going to line it up in here, and then I'm going to use my eye to sort of make sure they seem to be matched up. So you'll see in the little flowers, it's covering up the center of them. So we can hold those in place. This time I'm going to use some crushed curry. So I'm going to go a little bit darker, but don't press too hard. So we can always add more, but you can't take it away. Don't forget the little ones up here. Just adjust that slightly. Right, I'm going to have a little sneak peek. Oh, yeah, can you see the slight difference with the 2 sort of colours there? You can see it enough, which is good. All right, we're going to keep our crushed curry there. That is nice. I'm going to give that a wipe 2 on my mask. Just do it off camera so I can have it flat. Just be careful when you're wiping that you don't flick that up. So let's put that aside, ready for later. Okay, next we're going to go for layer 3. So this is 3, so it's only the main parts. Now I am going to introduce a slightly different color for the center of the flowers. So you could go really dark with your yellow, but I might try something else. So let's go with the crushed curry and quite dark. Oh, I hope I haven't gone too dark. Quite dark. Let's have a little sneak, have a look. Oh yeah, that's cool. I like that. That's nice. All right, so I could go very dark with my yellows, or for a bit of contrast, I'm just going to add a bit of peach pie. So you could do either. And just to help those centers stand out, but I don't want to go where my roses are. Okay, let's have a look at that, see how that's looking. I won't close it yet in case we... Oh, I did go slightly over there, but hopefully we won't notice. We won't tell anyone. Okay, so let's close those up. It's handmade. It's not going to be perfect, even though I'd like it to be a bit better. Right, so wiping that one down so we can use it again later. Let it dry. All right, so that's our flowers. Now we're going to do our leaves. So I actually wanted quite a bright colour leaf, except let's get this up the right way. So this is number 4. Notch up the top, line it up. So use the notches and things, and then use your eye to just adjust it and make it all nice. So let's hold these in place. Okay, I'm actually going to go for lemon lime twist because that's quite a brightish green, which I think will look quite effective against the yellow. So let's make sure that hasn't moved. It looks pretty good. I'm just going to adjust it slightly to the left without messing it all up. I think that's good. Okay, so going over all our leaves. So it's just a brighter kind of green, which is quite good. I quite like granny apple green, and I did use some of that, but this is a little bit brighter, so we're going to try that. Whoops, don't move it. Keep it still. Do you like this colour? So this is mainly using 2 sort of yellows and then 2 sort of greens. Oh, that's beautiful. Okay, now looking back at my card, I can't quite remember if I think I used Old Olive to add to that. So let's try Old Olive. So a slightly darker green, if one can find it. Here it is. Hopefully that's the one I did use. We'll soon find out. We can change it. All right, so we need to take that mask off, give that a wipe as well so it can dry. If you finish for the day, you could kind of run it under the tap and let them dry, but obviously we want to use them again. Right, so number 5, notch up the top, and that's 5 is facing the right way. Pop it up here, adjust it. So this is the detail on the leaves. So let's hold that in place. Oops, upside down, it's not going to work. Okay, coming in with our green. Just gonna, okay, and going over the top. So it's going to add a bit contrast to our brighter green, hopefully. So it's kind of hard to see because, you know, the mask around. Now we need to be careful of areas like that we don't go off and put it in the card behind. Oh, that's nice. Very good. All right, I think that'll be enough. Okay, let's wipe that one off too. Okay, very good. I like it. So let's close our ink pads before we get ink where we don't want it. So what I've done, or going to do, hopefully my hands are clean, is we're going to adhere that onto here, like so. Now you can decide if you want it this way, or this way, or that way. That's the thing. What did I do? For this one, I had it like that. I don't know if you can tell, there's a little bit down there, so we might just cover that up. So here is our one where we've just stamped straight onto it. So we're just going to put these together and then add some sparkle. So fairly quick and easy to make. And all the hard work of trying to line up the colouring is done with the masks, as long as you can keep them nice and still and line them up properly. But they're really fun to use. Okay, so there we go. So let's go this way. I'm going to make a portrait card. I'm just going to stick it down. You could use dimensionals and things. And then we need to add a sentiment. So it could be a longer happy birthday or a thanks or something like that. So what I've used is the Simply Said, which is quite good. You've got, a long thank you or a larger one there. So I'm just going to use some scraps of white, although I don't want it too thick. Is there any thinner? It's kind of similar to that. What are we going to do? So some of them I've done like thanks, like that. Let's try something different and we'll do the thank you. Now with the photopolymer stamps, you could quite easily bend them a bit and we don't want to. So let's just line it up straight and then we'll put our block on over the top. There we go. Now I'm going to stamp it in crushed curry because it's a slightly brighter yellow. Let's just move those out of the way. And well, that's pretty good. Grab my snips and just trim it. So it's kind of even both ends, I think. There we go. And then we're going to just adhere that with some dimensionals. And maybe add some bling to finish it off. And then we're good. So, oops, upside down is not a good idea. We're going to put it right there so we hide that little bit of yellow that we had. Now, you will notice when this was the first card I made, so I was still learning. I somehow missed stamping the center of the little flowers. So I added bling to that and then I added some petunia pop around it. I'm not going to add in the center of these ones because I've colored it differently, but I am just going to add some rhinestones to add a bit of sparkle to it. So depending on what you've got, what matches and whatever color, I'll use my Take Your Pick tool to lift some up and just add a little bit of sparkle to it as well. There we go. So that is stamping it and not cutting it out, but just using it flat. Do you see what I mean? And in this case, I've used 2 yellows, Daffodil Delight Crushed Curry for that sort of dimension and color, and then the Lemon Lime Twist and some Old Olive. Now with this one, you can definitely see a difference more in the contrast of the 2 colors, which is interesting. So I guess maybe I go lighter first and then a bit darker. But I still think they're both very nice. What do you like? Do you like the yellow? The yellow or the, what do you call it? The petunia pop was the other color. Now I've been busy making that. I'm just looking at comments now. Oh, it looks like lots of you are joining me today, which is great. I mean, I was late because I was having technical difficulties. So I'm glad that you're with me now. Or some others like the petunia pop, they like the pink. So that's cool. So yeah, I mean, that's what I wanted to make first, but I thought the yellow was quite striking too. So, and you can try all sorts of colors. Okay, so for the second one, I'm going to do it the other way around. We're going to use the pink, and I'm going to do it so we cut it out and things. Now I've got that one that we did earlier, but we might just stamp again. So this piece is slightly bigger so that I've got room to cut around it. So I need my big stamp again, which I've put to the side. So let's bring it over, and I'm going to stamp on my mat. So we might go a little bit longer today just because I'm going to try and make 2 variations of this card. So you can see on this I've got a bit more space around it. It's great to see lots of comments today. Thank you all for being here and for commenting and things. It's great to see you here. Okay, here we go. All right, now we need our base again to keep it in place. Right, I'm going to switch it over because we might line it up slightly different. Okay, let's stick that down to hold it. And we do need to be a little bit more careful with our dies this time if we're going to do a couple of colours. Now, I thought I brought in here some post-it notes, and of course I can't see them now, only the ones I had before, and some more would be good. All right, so let's line this up, lining up the flowers around the edges and things, and then we're happy with it. We will put these in place and draw our little notch and draw around the corners. So has anybody else got this? Have you tried using it? What's your favourite thing to do? Oh, I found my post-it notes. They're right in front of me. Now, we do need to be careful. Actually, we don't need to be too careful because we're going to cut it out, actually, because these bits are exposed. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to cover some of our bigger flowers. So let's do this area first. So I'm going to do these small ones yellow and the bigger ones the pink. So I'll get my yellows out again now that I put them away. So we'll start off with our Daffodil Delight. So we've got a contrast between the two colours. All right, so I'm going to just go lightly with our yellow. And this one down here is very close, so we don't want to go over the row. So that one, and maybe another one here, just to be sure. That's yellow too, just slightly. And over here somewhere, and there's some more to do. Up here. Okay, I think I've covered some more over here. So all these ones are yellow. And I don't want to make the rose the wrong colour. Okay. Then we will do it the other way around. So now we'll cover up all these other little ones. Oops, where's the sticky end? So this is a little bit fiddly, but it will look very cool in the end. Okay, so we're only wanting to colour those. Now I'm trying to remember what I did. Because I've made a few of these, whether I use Pretty Pink and then Petunia, or whether I just use Petunia very lightly. We'll start with some pink and see how it looks. And if it's not bright enough, we will go with some Petunia Pop. All right. So let's start with a little bit of Pretty and pink. Oh, that's very bright. Okay. So just slightly. So let's look at that. Is that the same colour? Hard to say, but that's all right. We can make them all a little bit different. Okay, we don't want to get on that yellow one there. Okay, now I'm going to have to move these around a bit. Cover up this one and do this one as well. So it is involving a little bit more care because we're using different colours on different ones. But I wanted to show you the easy version first. All right, there we go. So that is round one. I think that looks nice. Pop that away. Now we're going, did I do my notches? Yes, I did. Phew. Number 2 is this one. So let's go with the yellow first again. Whoops, we need to actually hold it in place. Where are we? Like so. Here's my other little one to hold it in place. Okay, so let's add some more yellow to this. So I used, the second layer was some crushed curry. So let's add a bit of crushed curry. And over here, now I'll move that around slightly. They're very small, so we've got to work very carefully. But darker now around, let's do this one over here first. We might just need to line them up a bit better. Okay, and then finishing here. Again, it's moved a little bit. We don't want to get it on that one. Bear patience with me as I move things around. Okay, hopefully I haven't gone too dark on those. All right, now we've moved it a bit. That's okay, we can move it. We're going to do our, let's hold this in place. So get our notches right, our flowers right. So with these ones, it's quite good to look at the center of the flowers, and if they're covered, then we're good. All right. This one here we do really need to cover. Okay, so now I'm going to get my Petunia Pop. So we're going for a darker pink. She says when she finds it. Where is Petunia Pop? At the bottom of the pile. So you can play with whatever, you know, colours you want to try and things. Okay, so are we good? That one's coming off a bit, so we don't want to start too dark. And I'm actually going to go that way because that little bit's poking out. Hopefully that's going to look okay. This is number 2, yes. A bit late to check now, I guess. Okay, let's see how that's looking. Oh, yeah, bit of dimension to that. And then we're going to do our one down here. Oops. Add a bit of contrast to that. Awesome. All right, look at that. That's looking nice. Then number 3, we go a bit darker. All right, where's our notch? Up the top. Here it is. So we've basically got the 3 centers. So let's hold it in place, which is the sticky side here and here. And I'm going to do what I did before and go with my peach pie as a contrast. So I'm just going to do that. Now we want to do these ones. Now I definitely want to cover that up because I don't want to get it on there. Okay, it's a very little hole, so you definitely got to get the colour in there. Now we'll go the other way around. Oh dear, sticking to me. We'll cover up these ones and do our roses in the middle. Okay, remind me to change brushes, which is this is my darker one, I believe. Okay, here we go. Nice dark layer in the middle. Beautiful. And down here, I'll put my finger there, then it can't go over. All right, let's see how that's looking. Oh, look at that. That's pretty cool. Now, if you find, for example, you know, you've missed a little bit, you can always come back and just touch it up a little bit, like there's a bit of an edge there. So I'm going to actually just rub that off a lot and just come in with a little bit of Petunia Pop just on the edge there. So you can kind of, you know, touch it up a little bit if you need to. All right, there we go. Leaf time. So now we've got the contrast with the 2 flowers, which is very cool. So I might try Garden Green this time. Not Garden Green, sorry. Not Garden Green. Granny Apple Green. And we'll see how that looks. So we're going for number 4. So appreciate your patience with me as you watch all these different stages. But hopefully you can kind of, you know, see how it works. And if you've got these masks or other masks, you can have lots of fun with them. All right. We're nearly there. So, okay, let's go with Garden Green. We're just going to go lightly so we can get a bit more of a contrast with the darker colour, because I think in the last one we didn't have quite so much contrast. So let's try this time. You can try all these things out. There we go. Let's just have a look. We need to just move that up a little bit. So maybe slightly darker. Keep it still. Whoops, oh dear, we don't want to move it. Maybe if I use some Post-it notes to hold it down, it would help. Okay. So let's see if that is looking good. Oh, I like that. And now we're going to come in with our very last one. Nearly done. Put this upside down. notch there, and we're going to go for our contrast with our Old Olive. Okay. Oops, is that right? Yep. Okay. So hopefully this will give it a little bit more detail. So what do you think of these layering beauty dyes? I think they're very cool and a great way. You don't need lots of different things on the page. This is kind of your main focal piece, and just add a sentiment, maybe some embellishments, maybe some ribbon, linen thread. There you go. Now you can definitely see a bit more of a contrast between the two colours on the leaves. And we've got a difference between the pink and then the other flowers are yellow. So what do you like more? Okay, I'm getting all these ink pads out the way. And then what we're going to do in my brushes, I think. So what we need to do next is cut it out. Right, my die. So that is here. Which way up does it go? Like that way, I think. All right. Now my camera is quite low, so I don't think my machine is going to fit underneath, but we'll try. We'll see how it goes. And we'll emboss a piece as well. So maybe we'll just have it to the side so you can, whoops, let's move now, see it come out. All right, so I've got my base plate, and because I'm cutting, I've got a 1, a 2, and 1 at the bottom. And then I'm going to put this down and line it up and hold it with the tape, and hopefully it's lined up nicely. Then I'm going to put another cutting plate on the top. And please don't tell me I've left it in the other room, because that would be annoying. I've got one plate. Is it on the floor? Let me just grab the other plate. Bear with me. Yes, I had left it in the other room. Okay, so lining it up, putting it down. It doesn't want to quite stay in position. It keeps moving. You can't see off screen, sorry. All right, stay. So I want to try and get it as accurate as I can. Is there another bit of tape? All right, it's just moving ever so slightly. There we go. I think that's good. All right, let's see it come out the other. Whoops, bumping the, oh dear, I can't get the arm underneath. There we are, coming through. Let's move it like this a bit more. Okay, let's see how well I have done. And, well, that's pretty good. That's lovely. There we go. Isn't that cool? Now, I'm going to emboss. So I'm going to take these top other layers off. I'm going to use my exposed, well, we've got a choice. Exposed brick or this new one. Maybe we could try something new. So I've got to find my piece that I have cut that's hopefully the right size. Let's just check it fits on here. Yes, that's perfect. So let's try the new folder. And I cannot remember what it's called. So we'll put that in, but it's very cool. And we're going to use our specialty plate. And we're going to put the closed hinge in first, because it's a 3D embossing folder. So we need the specialty plate and put it through. There we go. All right, let's move these out the way. Nearly done. So this is what that folder looks like. So something a bit different. So we're going to adhere this to this, put it on our card front, and then we've got to decide which way we want to go. Now, sorry, I haven't been looking at lots of the comments and things because I've been concentrating so much. So I'm glad you guys have been chatting with each other. Oh, it's great to see that, yeah, some like the pink, some like the yellow. Great to have some newbies here too. Miriam, welcome. It's great to have you here. Oh, thank you for your kind words, Miriam. Yep, I enjoy sharing some tips and things with you guys. All right, my card base. So I've got my faithful regulars who come and watch my lives, which I really appreciate. And then, you know, when you're joining for the first time or get to watch every now and again, it's great. All right, yeah, we're definitely going a bit longer today. Sorry, it's usually like half an hour, but about 45 minutes, probably because I'm doing the 2 cards. So, but I just thought I would, you know, show you a couple of different ways. All right. Okay, so there we go. So this folder's a bit different. So question time. Where's all my samples gone? Are we going for standing it upright like this? Are we going for one that's on its side, like these? Not sure if I showed you these ones yet. So these are the ones where it's embossed behind. So maybe we'll do this one on its side. So I've got one with happy birthday, one with thanks. Added some sparkle and a bit of the linen threaded too. So yeah, let's go for this. So because we are sticking it on, we're going to use some dimensionals. Stamping dimensionals, love these. And they've got the highlighter on them so you can tell if I have taken the backs off or not. And then I'm going to use one of my favorite tools. You take your bit tool and just, well, I don't have fancy nails for lifting up, so this helps lift them up. And then we're going to put this down like so. And then stamp our sentiment. We'll keep it quick. We'll use the thanks. I seem to have created quite a mess today because there's quite a few things that I've used. So I will use the thanks if I can find the thanks, yes. We'll use the Petunia Pop because that's sort of the darker colour that borders it. And like so, beautiful. Trim it. And so just got to add some linen thread and embellishments and we're done. So I'm going to wind it round twice. Like so. Oh, these are not my linen. These ones are for cutting ribbon and stuff. So I've got one there, wound around twice. Now to save my hands, whoops, I'm trying to hold it in the middle. Cut another piece off. And I'm going to cheat. I'm going to get a glue dot somewhere when I can find one. And put it in the middle of my bow. And put that in the middle of my bow and hold it down. And then that holds it in place while I tie it because I don't have 3 hands. There we go. All right. Then I'll grab another glue dot to hold it in place. Let's put that there. Grab a couple of these things, dimensionals, and put it on my card and add some sparkle. And then we're good. So we've sort of got it behind slightly. You can adjust it as you like. And then finish it off with some sparkle. So I've mainly used I actually know we're going to use the in colour ones, not the rhinestone ones this time. So these are the in colour Petunia Pop ones. Well, they're all big. Oh well. Where did I put them on this card? I didn't put them on this card. Okay, let's put 2 down here. I would probably have preferred to like use big and small. Maybe we'll go for a light pink one as well for a bit of contrast. And contrast in size too. There we go. Yay, we're done. Whew, big effort today. But my camera's got a bit bumped around there. Don't like it when it's not angled. Okay, so let me show you what we've done. So today we have made this one here in the yellow by stamping it and adhering it. This one here, we have done the 2 colours, so it involved a bit more masking. We've die cut it out, and then we've got our pattern die textured pattern at the back. Sorry, just trying to catch that. And then embellishments and sentiments and things. So we've used the layer of beauty. So you can get this as a bundle, and you get the stamps, the dies, and the masks, which need cleaning, together. or you can get them separately as well. Now, you don't have to use the outline stamp, but particularly when you're starting off, I think it's a good way of doing it. So let me show you some of my other examples. So these ones, so this is similar, except you went for more of a peachy colour flower. This is more pretty pink, and I've done pretty in pink background. For the full-size card, well, I mean, they're all full-size card, but I mean this way, portrait, I've got them stamped straight on, and this one has been die cut with the pattern behind. So lots of options in there, but it's lots of fun to do. All right, very good. Just before we go, a final reminder, we've got today and tomorrow, the last 2 days for our starter kit offer. So if you have wondered about joining up, becoming a demonstrator, if you do it this month, it's a great time because you get extra in your starter kit. So I'll come back to me rather than you looking over there. Where am I? So you may be thinking, well, I'm not an experienced crafter. I don't know how to, be a demonstrator, that kind of thing. You can make it suit you. Whether you want to do classes and do Facebook Lives, you can, but you definitely don't have to. You might just want to do it for yourself or get together with a few friends. You can buy it yourself. You can get orders from others. It's up to you as long as you meet your minimums each quarter, which are about the value of $550 New Zealand, which sounds like a lot. But then, if you get some orders from others and that kind of thing, or spread it out over the 3 months, then it's a great deal and you get, a discount on your purchases too. Sign up in May, so buy today or tomorrow, and as well as the Great Value Starter Kit, which costs $189, you get $285 worth of product of your choice, stamps, inks, cardstock, paper, whatever. Plus, you get the in-colour items, which are the 5 in-colour ink pads, 5 Stampin' Right markers, an assortment pack of cardstock, and the Designer Series paper pack in those 5 colours as well. So it's an amazing deal. Feel free to ask me more about it, even if you're just wondering. Anyway, thank you so much. It wasn't a lot longer today. Maybe next time I'll stick to 1 card. But thank you for being here or watching the recording later, and I look forward to seeing you again soon. Feel free to contact me if you've got any questions. Sign up to my newsletter if you haven't already, and I look forward to sharing more with you in the future.